Today we're going to talk about something very interesting, and it's called the very interesting mantra. And this is how the mantra goes. That's interesting. That's the mantra. So when do you use this mantra? Anytime anything bothers you, you chant the mantra, that's interesting. And if it really, really bothers you, you chant the mantra, that's very, very interesting. Then you might say, wait a minute, this sounds like Buddhism, because in Buddhism they say you should look at something without making a judgment. But the reality is that often we make very bad judgments, and those bad judgments have very negative effects on us. So I say bad judgment, I mean we look at something in a negative way, obviously it has negative effect. So we all have triggers. There are all certain things that bother us. If we were more evolved, we would have healed those triggers so that we would be able to deal with them. But until we do that, when we experience something that's disturbing, if we chant the mantra, that's interesting, it dissipates that energy. It dissipates the negativity. So it's a way we can practically deal with things that disturb us without allowing them to disturb us. Now, if you want to evolve to the next level so you don't get disturbed in the first place, try to look at things that disturb you and ask yourself why. Because if you look at why something disturbs you, most often it's going to disturb you for no really good reason. It's just, oh, well, I don't like this, or if people do this too slow, it bothers me. Is that really worth getting bothered because it happened 10 seconds too slow? Of course not. It's a nature. It's something we acquired as our nature, or it's through experience. We just became accustomed that things should be a certain way, and then when they're not that way, we get upset. And so if you just think about it, you think, well, okay, I'm used to it being this way, but it's okay if it's not that way. I really, really could deal with it. It's not that difficult to deal with it. We just think about it, and you'll see that so many of the triggers you have are just little things that you need something to be a certain way, but you actually don't need it to be that way. It's just the way you become accustomed to having it. And if you just look at it and ask yourself, how could I deal with this, or how could I heal with this? You'll see that there's so many things that are bothering you now that will stop bothering you because you've just adjusted the way you're dealing with it by giving yourself time to think why this thing is triggering me. It's such a simple thing to do, and you'll find that the triggers are usually very insignificant things that really don't matter that much, but we allow ourselves to get upset. I'm driving my car and someone cuts in front of me and I get triggered. Is it that big a thing that you're going to arrive like 3 seconds later because that guy went in front of you? Of course not. But we get triggered, we get agitated. Now you might think, what's the big deal? Yeah. But the thing is, if little things are disturbing us, little things become bigger things. It's a consciousness, it's a way of thinking, it's a way of being. Just like if I'm compassionate in my daily activities, my compassion increases. So if I can be nice to someone, you might think, what's the big deal? Just being nice to someone, we have to save the world. But just the fact that I'm nice to somebody means a little more compassion is being generated. I'm becoming a more compassionate person, which I can apply to other devotees, I can apply in my service, and I can apply in my preaching. So compassion's good. So it's a question of cultivating. So if I'm always getting upset about all kinds of little things, I'm cultivating this attitude, which is really not helpful for Krishna consciousness. And as I often say, if you practice something, you get good at it. So if you practice getting upset all the time, you'll get really good at it. And we're supposed to be more tolerant than a tree and more humble than a blade of grass. So it actually works against us, even though it seems like insignificant or not even related. It's developing the wrong attitude. So heal your triggers, and until you do, just chant the mantra. That's interesting to dissipate this negativity so you can start to learn to detach from things that disturb you, detach from things that you can't control that disturb you. Because the devotee is shanti, shanti, peaceful, titikshava karunika surita sarvadehinam. Shanta, he's peaceful. So you want to be peaceful, everybody be peaceful. Don't get upset about everything. There's 1,000,001 things that can upset us but we're Shanti, we're Sadhava, we have all good qualities. So we're very peaceful, right? Yes, yes. Hare Krishna.